How's it going, everybody? The Seer here, and I have a different sort of video I'm doing for you guys today. Now, this was brought to my attention by Bendable Straws. I'm actually going to put his video in the description below. Make sure that you give him a follow, subscribe to him, and everything like you did to me as well. He was a big supporter in helping me get started into YouTube, content creation, and everything. And I want him to hit that 1,000 subs so that way he can actually get to his 1,000 mark to start making money off of this. But the purpose of this video is to kind of give you a timeline of when we can expect Professor X. Because in his video, he basically discovered that Professor X's landing page is kind of in the game already. So where I'm starting at is kind of a timeline of what we can expect. On this page right here, it's the Marvel Strike Force website. And if you go to the hamburger on the top right portion, go down to where it says Age of X, and you can see that Shadow King is now showing on the bottom portion of this X on here. Now, the first one that we end up getting was the Old Man Logan for that legendary. We got Odin for that Dark Dimension 8, which came out in September. And now we have Shadow King, where it's basically the end of October. I'm expecting him to come sometime in November, because next week is going to be potentially Scarlet Witch Zombie. Then after that, it should start being the Astral characters. Now, over here on the left, I'm betting that this is going to end up being Professor X. Now, the evidence I have to kind of support that is if we go to Dark Dimension 8 right here, this blog was from September 11th. And on here it says September 16th is when Dark Dimension 8 came out. So it's a little over a month ago. And it looks like they were kind of doing about 6 to 8 months for these releases. Now, on the character portion of the page, so here if you end up going to game, go down to characters, that's going to take you to here. If we end up selecting any of the characters, the hyperlink at the top is just going to say marvelstrikeforce.com/your language/characters and then / the character name. So if we start to type in Shadow King, we see that his landing page is already set. It has his description, his traits. We can kind of see where the profile picture would be. The gear portion, it kind of has that portion set as well. It just says you do not have this character saved to your profile, so it's kind of empty. But if we end up changing this to Ancient One, the same deal is going to happen. And the same as well for Emma Frost X-Men. So all of the Astro characters are now in here. If we end up typing in Xavier, which I've been kind of taking a look at this as well. I've been searching for like Professor X, Charles Xavier, stuff like that to try to find it. Bendable Straws discovered that it was Xavier that's in the name up here. So we have the landing page for Professor X in the game. If we go to gear, the same thing happens. You do not have this character's saved. So his landing page is kind of set. That's kind of set in stone. He should be coming soon. But how soon can we expect? Based on the timeline of characters that we have coming in the game that we know of, potentially next week should be Scarlet Witch Zombie. After that, it's usually about 10 days before the next character ends up coming out. So that's going to leave 30 days of the Astral team that's coming out. So that's going to take us to the end of November. We just did that video saying that the Thunderbolt is coming to the game. This movie is set to come out May 2nd of 2025. So it's not going to be around that time because it depends on if they want to release Thunderbolt leading up to the release of the movie or during or after. So that's basically April on. I don't think it's going to be a realistic date for Professor X. Now, usually in the December to January time frame, they end up doing that big patch. I don't think Odin's going to be coming that soon because if something happens during Dark Dimension 9 or whatever his release method is going to be, that could kind of put more of a bad taste in our mouth than anything. We also have Battle World coming, which should be November for that. So I don't think they're going to try to overshadow Dark Dimension with Battle World, kind of coinciding and conflicting with each other. So that leads me to believe it's probably going to be about February or March for when Professor X is coming. That's a pretty good time frame that I think would actually work for when this would come. December to January, Scopely's usually out of the office. They usually do that fake patch. That way, if anything goes wrong, they don't really have to worry about it as much. Then when they come back, that's going to be about January, maybe February timeframe. It lets them get settled in, get everything back in order. So I think March is going to be a more realistic date. So that's going to be about 3 months away of when we can kind of expect this. They got the landing page. They're going to start doing more of the hype. Probably get more of his profile picture. Get this page set up more for Professor X, for him to actually come in the game. I'm pretty excited about this. Having it to where more things are coming for Professor X in Age of X style, I think is really cool. Odin, I do think that he was a good character that came in the game. Some people were kind of disappointed just because he wasn't the all-in-one counter, just because he didn't beat everything. Having counters for these things like Mephisto and everything like that, they worked really well together. Odin's a great character. I can only imagine what they would end up doing with Professor X to kind of hype him up to that level, kind of get him in there. I'm hoping that they end up making it to where he works with more X-Men and mutant characters to kind of get that tie-in. Another thing is I can't really read these type of descriptions, but if you end up right-clicking on his profile picture, you can go down to where it has like the view page source. It's going to take you to kind of a HTML type of thing on here, and I believe they have it's somewhere on here. Bendable Straws was able to locate it, where there's actually like a portion for what his profile picture is going to be. So make sure to check out his video as well. We just both wanted to share this information. Yeah, like right here is the JSON portion on here. So there's things in here, leaving those little breadcrumbs. Professor X is coming sooner rather than later, a lot sooner than I would have expected. I was expecting maybe like June, July, but it looks like it's going to be about Q1 is going to be my guesstimation for when we can expect them. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this? Are you excited? Is this nothing we're kind of reading into it? The fact that we actually have a landing page, because we end up typing in a character that's not in game or coming, like Century, nothing is on here. So there's definitely something. They got a landing page coming for him. But again, let me know in the comments. Make sure to check out Bendable Straws' video on this as well. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day, everybody.